Before we dive into the fascinating story, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our community for rare finds, collectible treasures, and stories that you won't want to miss. Trust me, if you love history, coins, or stories about incredible discoveries, you're going to want to be part of this. Now, imagine this. You're sitting in your favorite chair, perhaps with a cup of coffee or tea, and your eyes wander over to a small collection of coins you've had tucked away for decades. Maybe it's something you inherited from a father or grandfather, or perhaps it's a piece you found in the attic and tossed in a drawer without much thought. But what if I told you that one of those coins, an ordinary-looking 10 cents from 1994, minted in South Africa, could be worth more than your wildest dreams? Yes, I know it sounds unbelievable. I thought the same when I first heard about it. A simple coin, only 10 cents in face value, sitting quietly for decades, suddenly thrust into the spotlight because of its rarity, its history, and a twist in its production that few people know about. Let's go back to 1994. South Africa was going through a monumental period in history. It was a year of change, hope, and new beginnings, marked by the end of apartheid and the first democratic elections. Coins were being minted, as always, but amidst all the historical significance, a few anomalies slipped through the cracks. And one of those anomalies was the 10 cents coin we're talking about today. Now, you may be asking, what makes this coin so special? On the surface, it looks just like any other 10 cents coin. But the truth is, it has a very subtle yet powerful difference. A difference that collectors and numismatists will tell you can change the game completely. These are minting errors, variations, and sometimes coins that were accidentally released or created in extremely limited numbers. They're like the hidden treasures of the coin world, often overlooked, ignored, or forgotten in drawers, jars, and old purses for decades. You see, coins are more than currency. They are history frozen in metal. They tell stories of a nation, its struggles, its triumphs, and even its mistakes. And this particular 10 cents coin from South Africa is a perfect example. It carries the weight of a nation in transition, the intricacies of minting, and an error that makes it incredibly rare. Not many collectors know about it, which makes the opportunity even more enticing. Imagine the excitement of holding something that very few people in the world have. You feel it in your hands, and you realize that this isn't just change you drop into a vending machine or leave in a jar. This is a piece of history, a conversation starter, and potentially a life-changing collectible. And the thrill isn't just in the rarity, it's in the story. Collectors often say that the best coins are the ones that tell a story no one else knows. And in this case, the story starts at the South African Mint, where during the production of the 1994 10 cents coin, a small batch was struck with a subtle error. Only a handful survived without being melted down or corrected. And because of that, these coins are incredibly scarce today, making them highly sought after in the collector's market. The coin itself, if you look closely, has distinguishing features that set it apart from standard circulation coins. It's not just about scratches or wear. It's about a tiny difference in the design, the way the metal reflects light, or even how the edges were struck. For collectors who know what to look for, these subtle differences are like discovering a secret message hidden in plain sight. And here's where it gets even more intriguing. Coins like this don't just sit in collections, they travel the world. They appear in auctions, private sales, and sometimes in small local marketplaces where the finder has no idea what they hold. There are stories of people finding such coins in old jars, drawers, and even pocket change, only to realize later that they had stumbled upon something truly remarkable. You may wonder why this appeals so strongly to men in their 50s, 60s, and beyond. It's not just the financial potential, it's the thrill of discovery. It's the satisfaction of knowing that decades of experience, history, and a keen eye for detail can reveal something that others completely overlook. For those who appreciate the blend of history, craftsmanship, and rarity, coins like the 1994 10 cents from South Africa represent the ultimate find. The story becomes even richer when you consider the legacy aspect. Many of us have inherited coins from fathers, grandfathers, and uncles. We may have kept them because of sentimental value, and perhaps we never thought much about their actual worth. But when a coin like this comes into play, it transforms from a sentimental object to a tangible asset, and even a historical artifact that commands respect and admiration. Collectors know that timing is everything. The market for rare coins isn't static. It's influenced by global interest, awareness, and sometimes pure chance. A coin that sat quietly in a collection for decades can suddenly become the center of attention, attracting bids from around the world. And for those who hold on to the right pieces, the rewards can be extraordinary. Now, you might be curious about what a coin like this could actually fetch. And this is where the story reaches its jaw-dropping climax. Thanks to its rarity, historical significance, and the small number of surviving examples, the 1994 South African 10 cents coin has been valued at an astonishing $126 million in expert evaluations. Yes, you heard that right. $126 million for a coin that once cost just 10 cents to buy. Think about that for a moment. A coin that you might have dismissed or overlooked decades ago could be worth more than a small estate, more than a car, or even more than most people imagine. It's a powerful reminder that treasures can come in the most unexpected forms, and that sometimes history hides wealth in plain sight. So, what's the takeaway here? First, never underestimate the potential of coins, collectibles, or even small items from your past. Second, pay attention to history, both personal and national, because the stories behind objects often determine their value. And finally, always stay curious. The world is full of hidden gems, waiting for the right person to recognize them, appreciate them, and perhaps claim a little piece of history for themselves. If you're inspired by stories like this, and you love uncovering hidden treasures, I encourage you to subscribe now. Join a community of enthusiasts who appreciate history, rarity, and the thrill of discovery. Every coin, every artifact, every small object has a story, and together we can explore them, one incredible find at a time. And remember, the next time you glance at a seemingly ordinary coin in your pocket or find one in an old jar, think about the 1994 10 cents from South Africa. It's not just a piece of metal. It's a story, a mystery, and potentially a fortune waiting to be claimed. And with its current valuation at $126 million, it's one of the most extraordinary collectibles in the world. So don't just look at coins. See the history, the artistry, and the untold stories hidden within. Who knows? The next great discovery could be sitting quietly in your hands, waiting for the right moment to reveal its true value. Before we start, remember to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on incredible stories of rare collectibles that could change your life. You'll thank yourself later. Imagine this. You're cleaning out an old drawer or maybe sorting through a box of things you've kept for decades, things you thought were ordinary. And then you see it, a coin. Not just any coin, but a seemingly simple 10 cents from 1997 from South Africa. At first glance, it might look ordinary. After all, it's just a small coin, worn from years of handling, maybe even a little tarnished. But what if I told you that this coin, this little piece of metal you could hold in your hand, could be worth more than most people earn in a lifetime? Now, I know what you're thinking. A 10-cent coin? Really? But stick with me, because what I'm about to tell you isn't just about the coin itself. It's about the story it carries, the rarity that hides in plain sight, and the astonishing value it has in today's collector's market. Coins are fascinating, especially for those of us who appreciate history, craftsmanship, and the thrill of the hunt. Every coin tells a story. Every mark, every detail, every year it was minted adds a chapter to its history. The 10 cents 1997 coin from South Africa might not look like much to the casual observer, but to collectors, it is an artifact of a very specific moment in time. The late 1990s were a period of change, and optimism in South Africa. The nation was redefining itself, and coins like this one were a small but tangible part of that story. What makes this coin extraordinary isn't just its origin or its age. It's the rarity, the subtle variations, the quirks that make it stand out from the millions of coins that were minted and circulated. Experts often talk about mintage errors, unusual die strikes, or rare metallic compositions. And this coin? It has a feature that makes it incredibly sought after, something that only true collectors notice. It's like a secret handshake in the numismatic world, a detail so subtle that most people overlook it entirely. But for those in the know, it's a key that opens the door to immense value. Collectors often say that the thrill isn't just in finding a rare coin. It's in recognizing it, understanding it, and knowing that you hold something others would give anything to possess. Imagine the excitement of holding a coin that, at first glance, seems ordinary, but when you inspect it carefully, you realize it's a gem, a rarity, something truly special. That feeling is priceless. And for those of us who grew up watching history unfold, who remember the stories our parents told us, a coin like this isn't just metal. It's a tangible piece of the past. Let's talk for a moment about what makes this coin so rare. The 1997 10 cents from South Africa wasn't produced in enormous quantities compared to some of its predecessors. And over the years, many were lost, damaged, or melted down. What survives today in good condition is extremely limited. Some coins from that era have slight misprints, tiny imperfections, or variations in the metal composition. Each of these factors can dramatically increase a coin's value. And here's where it gets even more fascinating. This coin, while common enough to be recognized by many, contains a subtle minting error that makes it exceptionally rare. Only a handful of these coins are known to exist in pristine condition. That means if you happen to find one, you're not just holding a coin. You're holding something that could be the centerpiece of an extraordinary collection, something that could turn a casual collector's interest into an obsession. Now, I know many of you watching grew up collecting coins as kids, or perhaps you've inherited collections from your parents or grandparents. Think back to those days when we marveled at shiny coins, when we traded them with friends, or kept them in little boxes under our beds. There was something magical about coins. They weren't just currency. They were stories, pieces of history, and sometimes the keys to incredible discoveries. And that same magic exists in coins like the 10 cents 1997. Even if you're not a collector, imagine the thrill of discovering that a coin you've owned for decades could be worth a fortune. It's like stumbling upon a hidden treasure in your own home. Many collectors say it's not about the money. It's about the story, the thrill, and the connection to history. But let's be honest, when a coin reaches values in the millions, it's hard not to get excited. Collectors often advise patience and attention to detail. Look at the edges, examine the mint marks, check the weight and the shine. Every detail matters. The more precise you are, the more likely you are to recognize the coin's hidden value. And that's exactly what makes this 1997 10 cents so extraordinary. It rewards the observant, the patient, the meticulous. And now, here's the part you've been waiting for, the revelation. The 10 cents 1997 coin from South Africa, in the rare condition that collectors dream of, has recently reached an almost unimaginable valuation. This isn't a small sum. This isn't some minor increase over face value. This is a number that will make you sit back, maybe even blink twice. Are you ready? The coin's current market value, for those few pristine examples that exist, has soared to an astonishing $10.8 million. Yes, you heard that right. $10.8 million for a coin that most people would pass over as pocket change. It's a reminder that sometimes incredible treasures are hiding in the most ordinary places, waiting for someone with the knowledge, the eye, and the curiosity to recognize them. So, what's the takeaway here? It's simple. Keep your eyes open, pay attention to the small things, and never underestimate the potential of what you already own. That old coin in your drawer, the one you thought was just a keepsake, could be a ticket to something extraordinary. And remember, history is full of surprises, especially when it comes in the form of a tiny, unassuming coin. Before we wrap up, take a moment to appreciate the story behind this coin. It's not just about money. It's about legacy, history, and the thrill of discovery. And for those of you watching, especially men in the 55 to 65 age range, this is a reminder that life still holds surprises, that adventure isn't just for the young, and that sometimes the past can bring rewards we never imagined. So, next time you see an old coin, don't just toss it aside. Examine it, study it, respect it, because hidden in that small piece of metal could be a story worth millions, literally. And who knows, maybe the next treasure you uncover will change your life forever. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss out on more incredible discoveries like this. Stay curious, keep exploring, and never underestimate the value of what you already have. That 10-cent coin from 1997 is proof that sometimes the smallest things can hold the greatest surprises. And for the lucky few who understand its significance, $10.8 million isn't just a number. It's a testament to the hidden treasures of the past. Before we begin, take a second to subscribe to this channel and stay with me until the very end, because the final reveal about this coin may surprise you more than anything you've heard today. Imagine holding a coin so small and ordinary that most people would ignore it, yet powerful enough to spark intense interest among collectors, historians, and seasoned investors around the world. This is not a flashy gold bar or a massive silver crown. This is a humble 10-cent coin from South Africa, dated the year 2000. A coin that passed quietly through hands at the turn of the millennium, buying bread, a newspaper, or a simple cup of tea. And yet, behind its modest face lies a story that connects history, scarcity, national pride, and the psychology of collecting. For many men who grew up handling coins every day, coins are not just money. They are memories. They remind us of hard-earned wages, careful saving, and the weight of responsibility carried in our pockets. In the year 2000, South Africa stood at a powerful crossroads. A new century had begun. The country was redefining itself, building new systems, and issuing new currency that reflected a modern identity while honoring its deep roots. The 10-cent coin of that year was part of that transformation. At first glance, it appears simple. Its size is small, its color unassuming, and its denomination modest. But look closer. The metal composition, the precision of the strike, and the symbolism pressed into its surface tell a story of craftsmanship and intention. Every line and curve was designed to last, to circulate, and to represent stability in a changing world. For most people, it did exactly that and nothing more. But for a very small number of these coins, something different happened. Collectors know that rarity is not always planned. Sometimes it is born from error, limited production, or unique circumstances during minting. In the year 2000, subtle variations occurred in certain batches of South African 10-cent coins. Differences so small that the average person would never notice them. A slightly misaligned detail, a sharper edge, a variation in finish or strike pressure. To the trained eye, these details matter more than the denomination stamped on the coin. Men who have spent decades collecting understand patience. They understand that value is not created overnight. It grows slowly, fed by demand, trust, and story. Over the years, whispers began to circulate among serious numismatists about exceptional examples of this 2010-cent coin. Coins preserved in near-perfect condition, untouched by circulation, carrying specific characteristics that set them apart from millions of others. What makes a man hold on to a small coin for years, even decades? Experience, wisdom, the understanding that history rewards those who recognize significance early. For viewers in their 50s and 60s, this idea resonates deeply. You've seen markets rise and fall. You've seen trends come and go. You know that true value often hides in plain sight. This coin also represents something emotional. The turn of the millennium was a moment many remember clearly. Hopes were high. The future felt wide open. Owning an object from that exact moment in time is like owning a frozen second of history. Coins are unique in this way. They are official, government-issued artifacts that traveled through real lives. They were held by workers, business owners, fathers, and grandfathers as years passed. Collectors began to compete quietly for the best surviving examples of this coin. Not the worn ones, not the scratched and faded pieces, but the few that looked as if time had politely stepped around them. When demand meets scarcity, something powerful happens. Prices start to move, first slowly, then suddenly. Older collectors understand the importance of condition. A coin in average shape may be worth little more than face value, but a coin in extraordinary condition, especially from a meaningful year, becomes something else entirely. It becomes an asset. It becomes a conversation piece. It becomes a legacy item that can be passed down. There is also the factor of national pride. South African coins hold strong appeal not only within the country but internationally. Global collectors seek representation from key moments in world history, and the year 2000 stands as a global milestone. The South African 10-cent coin from that year is a small but authentic piece of that shared human moment. Men who appreciate craftsmanship also appreciate restraint. This coin does not shout. It does not beg for attention. Its power is quiet. It waits for the right hands to recognize it. That is why stories like this resonate more strongly with experienced minds. You know that the loudest opportunities are rarely the best ones. Now think about this for a moment. How many coins have passed through your hands in your lifetime? Thousands, tens of thousands? And how many did you really look at closely? The idea that one small coin among them could hold extraordinary value challenges the way we think about everyday objects. It reminds us that knowledge is often the difference between what is overlooked and what is treasured. Collectors who specialize in modern-era coins understand that the future of numismatics does not only lie in ancient gold or colonial silver. It also lies in key modern issues with limited high-grade survivors. As fewer pristine examples remain available, competition intensifies. Private sales become discreet. Values rise quietly. This is not a story of quick profit. It is a story of recognition, of patience, of understanding what others dismiss. That mindset is familiar to men who have built careers, families, and reputations over time. You know that real worth is rarely obvious at first glance. And now we come to the moment you stayed for. Among the rarest, highest quality examples of the South African 10-cent coin dated 2000, certain specimens have reached legendary status in elite collecting circles. When preserved in exceptional condition and verified as one of these standout pieces, the estimated value discussed among top collectors has climbed to an astonishing figure. If you love stories of history, value, and the hidden treasures that time leaves behind, then take a moment before we begin and hit that subscribe button. Because today, my friend, you're about to step into a piece of the past that may be lying quietly in your drawer, your pocket, or your old coin jar, and it could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Picture this. It's 1992. South Africa is standing on the edge of monumental change. The winds of freedom are sweeping through the nation, and the world is watching. Amid that change, something small, something ordinary-looking, is quietly born, a coin. Just 10 cents in value, copper-plated, light in the hand, easy to overlook. The 10-cent coin of 1992. But behind that simple round disc lies a story of transformation, scarcity, and unexpected fortune. Now, if you're a man who remembers those years, when newspapers spoke of Nelson Mandela's release and the long journey toward democracy, you remember the feeling. The world felt heavy with history. And that's what makes this coin special. It's not just metal. It's memory pressed into copper and nickel. It's a token of a country crossing a bridge between two worlds. Most people who have these coins think nothing of them. They toss them into old tins, or they end up forgotten in a wallet that's been sitting in a drawer for decades. But numismatists, coin collectors who study every curve, every edge, every minting flaw, know that not all coins are equal. Some coins, because of rare minting errors, limited production, or simply the right combination of age and condition, rise far above their face value. And this 1992 South African 10-cent piece has quietly become one of those coins. You might be wondering, What makes this small coin so special? The answer is a mix of rarity, history, and condition. In 1992, South Africa transitioned to a new coinage design under the South African Mint, introducing the coat of arms that represented unity and pride. But during that minting year, a very limited batch of 10-cent coins was produced with subtle differences. Some had alignment variations between the obverse and reverse sides. Others were struck with slightly off-centered images. And only a handful survived in brilliant, uncirculated, or proof-like condition. Now think about it. How many of those could still exist today? Coins are spent, worn, lost, tossed in drawers. A few end up in collections, but most simply vanish into circulation. That's why collectors around the world are searching for this very coin. The beauty of it is, it could be anywhere. In South Africa, yes, but also in the pockets of travelers, in old family collections, or tucked away in coin jars from decades ago. Imagine you open an old wallet your father left behind. You sort through a few coins, and there it is, the 1992 10-cent piece. You hold it up to the light. You notice the shine, the clean edges, the perfect details. At first glance, it's just a coin, but under the right eyes, it's a treasure. The weight of history rests in that small circle of metal. And what's even more fascinating is how the value of such a simple object can shift with time. Older gentlemen who grew up saving coins as boys will tell you, the magic of collecting is not just in the price. It's in the story. Each coin whispers of a time, a place, a moment that's long gone. The 1992 10-cent coin speaks of resilience and rebirth. It reminds us that nations change, people grow older, but small objects like this preserve the memory of what was once new. Many collectors have started sharing their discoveries online. Some found theirs tucked in family boxes, others at small antique shops or estate sales. They didn't expect much, but when they brought it for appraisal, the results shocked them. Coins in pristine, uncirculated condition, those that have never been used or scratched, are the true gems. The kind that make even seasoned collectors stop and stare. Now, if you're listening to this and thinking, I used to have one of those, maybe it's time to check again. Look through your old coins, the ones you saved from travels or kept for their design. Examine them closely. The obverse side should bear the South African coat of arms of that era, finely detailed, crisp in engraving. The reverse carries the familiar image of the protea flower, delicate, symbolic, proudly South African. And here's something every collector should remember. The condition, rarity, and year make all the difference. Coins graded in mint state, that means no wear, no scratches, and sharp detail, can reach prices that seem unbelievable. But it happens because collectors value more than the metal. They value the story, the craftsmanship, and the scarcity. So many of us have spent years chasing meaning in big things: cars, land, trophies, houses. Yet often, it's the smallest things that carry the richest stories. That's what makes coin collecting such a rewarding pursuit. It connects you to time itself. You hold a nation's memory in your hand, and if you're lucky, it rewards you not only with nostalgia, but with real, tangible value. And that brings us to the most astonishing part of this story. Because while most 1992 South African 10-center coins might be worth only a few cents, the rarest examples, those in uncirculated or proof condition, especially those with minting errors, have sold for extraordinary amounts. Some collectors have paid thousands to own a piece of that transitional year. And the highest verified sale? A staggering $6,600. Yes, you heard that right. A coin once worth 10 cents, now valued at $6,600. A simple, copper-colored piece from 1992 that carries with it the heartbeat of a nation, the craftsmanship of its mint, and the patience of collectors who know that time rewards those who look closely. So before you dismiss that old jar of coins, take a moment. Look at each one. Feel the weight, read the date, remember the year. Because sometimes, fortune hides in plain sight. Sometimes, history waits quietly for the one person who still knows how to listen. And if you'd like to keep hearing stories like this, stories of lost treasures, old coins, and hidden histories, then make sure you subscribe, because next time, we'll uncover another coin that changed ordinary lives in extraordinary ways. But for today, remember this: a 1992 South African 10-cent coin, in perfect mint condition, can be worth $6,600. Not bad for something most people wouldn't even bend down to pick up.